Now, the demands aren't on us to win the league, and I think the manager will be using those early few weeks as time to get his message across again. And he showed last season when he had a week or 10 days to train the players and coach the players for a game, we did well. I think we beat City, we went and got a good result at the Emirates in the Cup. So I think we smashed Arsenal first game of the season.
Adam, Man United, we do this show every season. There's always that optimism with a few new signings. You make the case for it being another good season.
I'm just an optimist, innit? I'm always going to be that way, especially in pre-season after I get back a little bit tipsy from wherever we've been. So, yeah, usual for me to be optimistic. But I think being in and around the team and the camp and stuff and seeing how Amorim is with the support staff that he's got there, Wilcox and Barada and stuff, I think there's clearly a more collaborative effort going on at Manchester United, and it's clear that everyone seems to be on the same page. I think with our squad as well, look, we've got some big gaps in there. I think we need a striker. I think we need to sort out that midfield, and we definitely need a goalkeeper. We're talking, with Luke about their goalkeeper situation. United have a similar urgency to address that, but
take Dubravka again if you want.
Oh, nah, thanks. Also, we don't want to be helping you like that.
We need help.
But yeah, I look at that squad and I think we haven't got any players that are injured, like that we're waiting for to come back from a World Cup. We've kind of had the full squad together. Even some of those injured players that haven't been able to play have been over there with the team. And it does feel like for once we haven't got, because we spoke to a few players, Luke Shaw, we spoke to Paddy Dorgu, we spoke to Lenny Yoro, and they were all kind of saying there's no stragglers here. They were all kind of on that same page, and it feels like everyone's moving in the right direction. But of course, you have to get results, and you have to get results early on in the campaign.
Who do you think he was aiming the stragglers comment at? I saw that, Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of them.
I've got to say, was it himself? He's not played a game for 2 years, has he?
Yeah, he's one of them. But I think obviously the group that was left out, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford. The thing with Luke Shaw is his issue is he's injured and he's on big wages. I don't think he's ever been probably a problem in terms of his attitude and stuff in and around the training camp. And
when he's fit, he is one of the very best.
But I think, again, he's becoming a left centre-back now because you can't do that left wing-back role.
Yeah, he has to be. There's no way you can get up and down a pitch.
But I was impressed with Patrick Dorgu over there, actually, in the way he performed in there. Obviously, he's a raw talent, and I think last season people were quite harsh on him and some of his performances. What
about the new lad, Adam? What was he like, the new left-back?
Diego Leon.
Yeah.
He's very raw, very young, but again, he has some potential there and some ability, and I think he's suited to that role. I think Kobbie Mainoo looks different. He's obviously bulked up a little bit. He looks like he's on that Leon Goretzka
I thought he looked fitter.
Moment. Yeah, he looks a bit fit. And the manager spoke about...
to be fair, I think they all looked a little bit fitter. I think it was like a rule that he had to come back in a certain condition by the looks of all of them. Yeah.
And the manager spoke about him. He said he thinks he's hugely talented and he's got massive potential and stuff, but he mentioned him kind of walking through games at times. And I think he wants to demand that physical...
I think that's his demeanour. That's the way
he's too good.
He just looks like that, doesn't he? I think we spoke last year about what they probably lack in the midfield there is that controlling midfield player, and I thought that was going to be him. It seems like it's a little bit confused now. Can he be that midfielder? Kobbie Mainoo. Can he be that midfielder who can play in a 2? But he'll obviously need a lot of legs around him. Or is he now one of the 10s? I'm just confused about
Where will Bruno Fernandes play? Yeah. Because he's your best player, he almost, it was a little bit like Steven Gerrard with us, where you want him in every position, you know, but because what Scholes is saying United lack in terms of a controller in midfield, he's not that, but he can handle the ball better than your central midfield, and then you still want him in that position as well. But I'm just thinking, because you've obviously bought those two players for those attacking number 10 positions, haven't you? Sort of, cutting inside on, sort of Cunha on the sort of the left and Buemo on the right. But even though he is your best player, I almost think, I'm not quite sure the system suits him. He's not amazing. You don't really want him centre midfield. And it's probably more suited between the lines, but he runs all over the place, doesn't he? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You'd think in an ideal world, he's perfect for one of these 2 10s that he plays. But because he doesn't have discipline to play in that position, he's everywhere. But it's because he's needed everywhere. maybe if you sign a better midfield player or Kobe Man who sits back into that midfield role and starts to dictate, then it might become a bit easier. He won't have to be the here, there and everywhere. Jamie's right. He has to do everything because I don't think there's the quality around him.
Yeah, I think that comes from frustration from him as well. Obviously, he wears his heart on his sleeve sometimes. It gets the better of him, I think, at times. But I do think that's more necessity rather than him being ill-disciplined, because I think tactically he works quite well with managers. I, though, kind of had the feeling United probably wouldn't have minded him accepting the move to Saudi, you know. It did kind of feel like, I don't think they were going to force him out of the club. I think he's the club captain, and I think he's a fantastic player. And I'm personally happy that he stayed. But I wouldn't have been surprised if United were kind of going...
Imagine if they didn't have him now, though.
Yeah, I know.
Was it 100 mil he got offered?
Well, I don't think an offer ever got made because he didn't seem keen on really leaving, but I think it probably could have.
I think you're right, Adam. What you said right at the very start, there's still big gaps. It feels promising with the two forwards. You look excited, and Højlund's not going to play, is he? If them three...
He didn't start him in the last...
No, that's what I mean. The three of them, they look quite good together. I'm not sure how that will work. I still think they'll be all over the place a little bit, but there's still gaps in the team.
That midfield's the big one for me, because I'm not sure about...
Legs and quality and control, definitely. I think the goalkeeper, we mentioned the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are massive. I think United, we talked about before about goalkeeper Schmeichel. It took us ages to replace him. Van der Sar was like 5 or 6 years down the line, I think. Look, whether they're just going to hope for one reason or another that he comes good, I don't know. But
it's mad to think Tom Heaton's our best keeper.
He can't do anything defensively. Tom Heaton, no.
He's our best keeper. It's mad to think that.
They've already got 5 or 6 centre-halves on big contracts. So there's
why did he go? I don't know why United went for Onana when they were conceding. They're going to concede so many chances. Like they've gone for like a ball-playing goal. I didn't get.
Well, we bought him as a ball-playing goalkeeper. Then we decided to get him like lobbing the ball.
He's not actually.
Would have been better off.
He's not actually been that great on the ball, though, has he?
Genuinely better. You'd have been. But yeah, the amount of.
No, we wouldn't have been. Mate,
times he messes up.
You were at the cup final. You saw what De Gea did.
He won Golden Glove that year.
Mate, he chucked it in a cup final. You can't be doing that.
What do you think enough's been done to sort of transform what we saw throughout the entire season last year to transform into what's good for United next year?
I don't think you can do that in one window, Flav. I think they've started with the forward area. The pitch was the biggest problem. They couldn't create chances. They couldn't score goals.
Yeah. But I think like, if he doesn't get it right so early on, then Amorim's potentially in trouble.
I think he's going to be given a lot of time.
Yeah,
I do as well. I get that feeling that he's under no pressure, really.
Is there 14th, 13th?
Is one of the reasons why... Shut up. You not so much giving him time from the ball, but the fans, there's something about Amorim when he speaks, the way he looks, the way he comes across, it makes you believe, when you see him interviewed, I think he's
mustard, man.
Yeah, exactly. So you like him because he comes... But the results have been awful. Awful. And
I think we kind of understand that. And look, they should have been better than they were. They should have been better than they were. But we kind of understand the situation he got the job in. And I also think Ratcliffe and everyone behind him was probably like expecting it as well. Not as bad as it was. We should have been higher up the table in the top 10 for sure. And we should have been better in the European final. But he has been dealing with things like, you look at Garnacho, look, I'm really disappointed with the situation. Someone that scores an FA Youth Cup final, scores an FA Cup final, comes through the academy, and he just turns into this little knobhead. And it's like, what's going on? Like, do you know what I mean? You can't have those in the dressing room. You can't have that in the dressing room. And I think we were impacted by time wasters in the dressing room. And I think it's a lot easier for the manager to get his message across now to a dressing room full of players that actually want to be there, whether we want them there or not. A dressing room full of players there. And we've got one game a week. I know we'd rather be in the Champions League. We'd rather have beat Spurs. But I think one game a week's important as well, because we're kind of talking about City's pre-season going into the season. Now, the demands aren't on us to win the league, and I think the manager will be using those early few weeks as time to get his message across again. And he showed last season when he had a week or 10 days to train the players and coach the players for a game. We did well. I think we beat City. We went and got a good result at the Emirates in the Cup. So I think we smashed Arsenal first game of the season.
Where do you think you'll finish?
Scholesy.
Where do you think you'll finish? Sorry.
Scholesy, what is realistic this season? What's a successful season for the manager this season?
I was just going to ask Adam the same thing. It's a tricky one, isn't it? From being so bad last year. Now, look, seasons can change. We see, as you mentioned before, your season Forest has. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to take 5 to 10 years to get back where you want to be. I still think there's issue. Although it's looking better, I still think that there are issues with the team. As we mentioned, the midfield. We don't want to go through it again. Top 6. I think top 6 would be more than acceptable at this. But as much as you don't want to say that, because I always think man should have the very best, should aim for the very best, should aim for the highest. I'm just not sure. I think there's too many good teams now. I think your Liverpools, your Cities, your Chelseas are on the up. Arsenal, I didn't even mention Aston Villa's, Newcastle's. I think there's a lot of competition now to get in that top 6. And 6.
I think United are more than capable of challenging, not probably Champions League positions, but no chance. But in terms of being around,
what you want to do is get
League.
close to them by February, March, and then because you never know, someone might have a bad season. You've seen teams kind of drop in and out. But I think the main thing for us is to actually feel like we're progressing and feel like the team's getting better. Because there's been times in the past where we have.
We all have to finish 14th, and don't we?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm on about on the pitch. Show me something on
Of
the
course,
pitch. I
yeah,
want
I
to see
know,
this
I know.
team developing and getting better. And so then we can go, yeah, actually, if you add those 2 or 3 players into it, they will get top 4. They will be able to challenge for the league. So I think progression on the pitch and the way we're playing and the way it feels, I think, is more important. Because there's been times where we've got top 4, but it's felt crap. And we've known it's felt like that, and it's not really felt like a top 4. So I think
there's a lot of very good players there. Last season was unacceptable, really, wasn't it? But I felt like there was an acceptance to it. With the last 3 months here, we're just going to get beat. Nobody seems that bothered about it. Now that obviously can't start the season with that attitude. There's got to be more pressure on him. Of course there is, but like he says, I think he will get time, and I think he started. When you try and rebuild teams, I think most start from the back going forward, don't they? I think we've started from the front because that was obviously the biggest issue. We've got a defence and a goalkeeper that might concede goals, and if we can't score goals at the other end, we've got no chance. So it gives more chance of winning games.
I think that first game of the season, it almost feels like going into the season in terms of managers, there's going to be a lot of pressure and eyes on Amorim because it didn't go particularly well last season, but also Arteta for different reasons. That okay, it's almost he's got to win something. I just feel that first game for both managers. I know it's one game.
Yeah, Carragher against Amorim and all
no,
like
but
the storylines that are
it'll
there
be on
as well.
Sky. We'll build it up, and I think for someone to lose that game will be a real big blow for them. You know,
I said it since the fixture list come out. We beat them.